Setre Afram Plains, 15 communities. North Tong constituency, 15 communities. Bia West constituency, 5 communities. Kratchi East, another 5 communities. Guan constituency, 15 communities. Pru West, 7 communities. Ho Central, 4 communities. Wasa East, 10 communities. Yape Kusol, 2 communities. Adaklu, 10 communities. Ebura Asebu, Kwaman Kese, 15 communities. Sisala West constituency, 29 communities, and that's my deputy minister's constituency. Shamar, and I see the Minister for Fisheries sitting behind me, 10 communities. In Ejumako Enyan Esiam, 14 communities. Wa West, 10 communities. Ketu North, 10 communities. Nadoli Kalio constituency, 6 communities. In Birim North, 14 communities. Ketu South, 10 communities. Sene West, 3. Salaga South, 10. Awin, 6. Cape Coast South, 8. Commander Edina Eguafo Ebrim, 10. Brekum East, the Honorable Member's constituency, 5. Lambusi, 5. Equiapim South, 5. Nkranza South, 10. Hohoi, 4. Sunyani East, 5. Esujaman, 3. And in these communities, that is 421 sites. Then we have a number of sites in other constituencies that were specifically worked on by GIFEC, and they include Bimbila. In Bimbila, we are working in 11 communities, your constituency, Chairman. In Akontombra, we are working in 3. In Kratchi West, 2. Tatale Sangoli, 2. Tamale South, 6. Nantong, 5. Sagnerigu, 2. Mian, we are working in 6. Wulensi, we are also working in 5, bringing a total of 460 sites. So, Chair, you see the spread, and that's why it is difficult at times to say that, oh, in 2 weeks we can just come to one place and complete. But we're confident that by end of Q2, we will be in a position where all of this should have been deployed and we can begin to work on integration and activation. Thank you.
Q2 is 31st of June.
30th of June. 30th of June, that's correct, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Honorable Minister, I just wanted to know, when you were mentioning the constituencies and their numbers, I realized that some had more than others. Is it based on the request that came in from MPs or MCs, or is as a result of how big the constituency is? Thank you very much.
Chairman, I'm laughing because my honorable sister brought me a list of almost 78 communities in her constituency. If I was to do the list she brought, more than 1/3 of the entire national coverage would have gone to just her constituency. So we received over 80 applications from over 80 constituencies. It's a matter of funds, and it's also an issue of trying to touch the most critical areas. So I think in her constituency we are doing about 10 or 15, 11. We are doing 10, you know, but this is a phased project, and we are hopeful that as funds are made available, we'll be able to come in there and hopefully do another 25 or something. But it's a funds issue, and the number of requests we've gotten, Chairman, if Parliament imposed on the Finance Minister to give us funds for 10,000 sites, maybe then we can cover the whole country. But in the absence of those funds and what we have to share it like Obatampa for every one of our children to get something small to hold body. Thank you.
Okay, so honorable members, we need to speed up. He has 5 more questions, so this is just question number 1. Okay. Yes, so we'll go to Deputy, then Honorable Tampole and you. Then we'll come to this side.
Yes, Honorable Minister, you see, before we started the sitting, I had a brief discussion with you regarding a letter I sent in. It was since last year. You came to Bole, Sola, just Bole and Sola. The letter came since last year, and I indicated to you, especially the Beniri area there, from Calabar, Beniri, Goyiri, those areas, you get there and as if you are not in the country. Even Sola District Assembly, if you are in Sola District Assembly, you can receive a call. You just got to Bole, you passed Sola, went to Damango and went those areas. What was the criteria?
Mr. Chair, let me be clear. There is no malice intended. Mr. Chair, giving the restrictive amount, the restrictions in terms of funding and the number of sites that we had, I dealt on this on a first come, first served basis. It was a first come, first served basis. We still have a number, like I said, I have received from about 80 MPs, but we're doing only the first 46 because we literally did first come, first serve. But Honorable, like I assured you, we are awake to some of the challenges. And I mean, in my conversation with you, we spoke about the recent security challenges that happened in your constituency and the need for some of those interventions. All of the interventions cannot come from government through rural telephony sites. And that's why at the ministry, working through the regulator, we've asked the network operators to roll out new sites. And Chair, because this is almost like a public interest question, this year alone, and at the just ended Mobile World Conference in Barcelona, I met with the CEOs, the group CEOs of the two major telcos that are running in the country, Telecel, the Telecel group. And they made a commitment to 350 new sites in Accra alone this year, which they will roll out, new sites, new logical sites in Accra. MTN had made a pledge of 500 sites for the whole country. When I met with the CEO and we spoke, he agreed, given the challenges that we have, to add another 300. So now we are going to see 800 new sites this year. To put this in perspective, Chairman, in the last 10 years, we have not even had 500 new sites from any of these telcos put together in the last 10 years. So in 1 year, between the two telcos, we are looking to see about 1,150 new sites coming up to ease congestion and to also do coverage. Because, Chair, we realize that in urban areas, the city is growing. If you stay in a place like Amasaman, and when the NTA does this drive test, or even in Ponkatamanso, Honorable Joti's constituency, the places where the cell sites were put are the old towns. And now the towns have grown. So you go to the new sites and there is no network coverage there because there are no new cell sites there. So working with the NCA, we're trying to map out all of these sites. But I can assure the Honorable Deputy Ranking that some of those sites are going to be strategically positioned along our border towns to ensure that the issue of cross-country interference of networks, we're going to be mandating the telcos to put some of the 1,150 new sites that are coming up in this area. So you may even end up getting not a rural telephony site, but a main telecom site in that area. So be rest assured that we are not sleeping on it and we haven't lost track. And there was absolutely no malice intended that we intentionally skipped Solar. Absolutely not. Thank you.
All right. So at the end, I'll ask you a follow-up question on this, but I'll allow others to ask. Tampoli.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Anyami, Mr. Chairman, I have one specific question regarding my constituency and the general question. So you mentioned the number of constituencies that you are working in various regions. I noticed that in Northern region, you didn't mention the name of my constituency, whether there's still ongoing work. Now, my question is, from your records, is it that the work is completed, or you don't have any records at all about work going on in Nawugu, Namwangbane, the Nakunga, Zantele, Karaga, which is in Karaga actually, but it's just sharing boundaries with my constituency. And then I don't know what you have in your records. So that's just the first question. Second question is the consideration for deployment. Some of the consideration for our requests, for instance, have to do with armed robbery occurrences happening in some blind spots where you have intermittent networks availability and so on and so forth. And up to date, armed robbers are still killing people along those corridors, and due in part to the absence of network for them to be able to make, distress calls. Only a couple of weeks, just about 2-3 weeks ago, my district commander told me about an incident of armed robbery, and they couldn't reach anybody. So you need to have regard for areas where we have these incidents of robbery due to the blind spots that we have in those areas, among other considerations. But I want you to consider very strongly areas where we have these incidents, and the records will be there. Every member of parliament can specifically give you areas where they think that these are, specific areas that you should intervene as a matter of urgency. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, thank you. I thought that when my brother came in, he was just going to say hi to me and not give me new WAEC questions. But Chair, let's be clear. The constituencies and the communities, the 460 I spoke about, are the current phase. And I indicated that this is a project we inherited. And so you are talking about a total of 2,016 sites. So Gushegu is part of the earlier batches. So this 460 are new, what you call verging sites that we are now going to. But in the case of Gushegu, it is part of the other 1,600 sites that are either completed or under construction. So the whole project is 2,016 sites. What I have just discussed is the last 460 sites that are now being deployed. So that's why you won't hear Gushegu, but in our records we are working in Gushegu to complete those sites. Chair, I would urge this committee, as part of your report, if the chairman and the committee members find it so fit, to make a case for rural telephony as a national security imperative, that it is extremely expedient that funds that are commensurate to the requests and the needs are made available to us. Last year, we had a budget of 70 million Ghana cedis. This year, we have a budget of 30 million Ghana cedis for rural telephony. So it is incumbent on the House, to make the case as part of your reports in plenary. And as a member of this House, I have seen the power of this House when it comes to allocations. The power of the House vis-a-vis the exchequer to make certain allocations, so that it is not a Ministry of Communication pet project. But as you've highlighted, the implications of us not getting the resources required for Computer and his team to do the deployments that are needed go way beyond people just saying hello, hi. And Mr. Chairman, on a lighter note, I saw a video that's trending where a lady said when they brought her Wi-Fi, it's allowed them to be able to send nude videos to their boyfriends and keep their boyfriends. So some people use the telecom connectivity we are bringing to be able to keep their relationships. Some also need them to be able to transact business or stay safe and contact emergency responses. So the desire and need of telecom services ranges from relational to economic to national security. So I beg the committee to make the case for us. Thank you.
So, honorable members, you will realize that we are keeping, we are allowing some bit of time on this question because almost all the questions are related. Yeah. So when we get to the other questions, they'll be very, very short because the background to most of the other questions are in what he's already given us. So I want you to have that. But when are you rolling out the second phase of the rural telephony? After these 460 sites?
Mr. Chair, this is actually the second phase. This is called the RTP2. So there was an RTP1 project under the Mills Mahama administration with Honorable Haruna Idrisu as minister. It spilled over into the Mahama Emisata administration where Dr. Edward Omanibuama of blessed memory was minister and completed the RTP1. Then he started the processes for the RTP2 facility, didn't complete it, and then the Honorable Esla Usu under the Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration came and completed the facility for RTP2 and brought it to Parliament, if my memory serves me right, in 2020 or 2021 for 2,016 sites. Now, those sites have been rolled out, and what is left is the 460 that we are rolling. So this is the concluding phase of RTP2. The ministry has already begun conversations on an RTP3 project. But the RTP3 project for us is not just rolling out new sites. Mr. Chair, we've done an analysis of what we've inherited from my predecessors. Most of the RTP sites, the rural telephony sites, are basically configured for 2G and 3G maximum. So it's basically voice calls. Internet connectivity is very sketchy on those networks. In today's world, and when we're talking about the digital divide, I find it unconscionable that we will continue to say we are connecting our rural communities and depriving them from access to the internet superhighway. So RTP3 is actually going to be focused on rolling out a minimal number of new sites, but focused more on upgrading all the existing RTP1 and RTP2 sites to 4G, 5G. So that in the rural communities, they can then get the access. So I would rather, even they say Sam George did not do any new sites, but then give all the existing sites high-speed connectivity of 3G, 4G and 5G. That way we know that we've really given proper connectivity to our people. But if we just keep rolling out 2G, Mr. Chair, I think that it's not fair for us as a country to say that we are connecting the community and we connect them only to 2G, which is only voice enabled. In today's world, a lot more happens on the internet than just with voice calls. So we're beginning to look at working around an RTP3 project that will include a few new rural telephony sites, but will be heavily focused on an upgrade of existing RTP1 and RTP2 sites to be able to do 4G and 5G as the state is moving to roll out 5G this year. Thank you.
Yes, colleagues, any more questions? Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mine is not a question, it's just a suggestion, my brother. I know your capabilities, I know what you can do. It's all about money. But my concern is that I would suggest to you that instead of giving maybe one constituency 21 sites or 10 or 15, I suggest that maybe you share it evenly so that everyone can get, maybe if it's 2 or 3 or whatever number, so that everyone can have. For instance, in my constituency or in my area, we have sexual farm plains, then we have a farm plains south, that's my constituency, and a farm plains north. Now, the first timer, that's sexual farm plains, she has gotten number of sites, and me who has been here for 10 terms hasn't gotten one. So in this case, it puts pressure on the MP. Now this is a general suggestion. It puts a pressure on the next door MP because it looks like that MP is not performing. So I think we should share it in a way that everybody will have maybe some. Thank you.
Chairman, we are guided. We would look at it and see how well there can be enough to go around everybody, but we are guided. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, it's Honorable Minister. Yes.
Chairman, mine is not to ask a question. I think I've been in several meetings that discuss this particular issue, and I know how passionate the minister and the team is concerning this RTP. In fact, I remember the first time I attended the meeting, I was bombarded with this. I asked myself, what is RTP? Later, before I got to know that it stands for rural telephony. So I will commend them for the good job that they are doing. In fact, our committee is allowed for us to do site visitations. So I would suggest that at the right time, maybe we'll come and look at some of the areas so that we understand the work proper. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, the rest of the questions are basically tied to this. We'll go through them, but you should be short in your answers. The assurances you are giving us the committee will take a visitation site to almost all of them to have a look at them. But I think that if we have an opportunity, which one? Oh, but he's given us some assurances and the names and the quantity. So we'll go through all of them. But take what with all seriousness, the suggestion by the Honorable Minister. Because if you have two constituencies, Honorable Member, if you have two constituencies, right, like the Sisala areas, one is getting 29, one is getting 5, you will know the pressure on the other colleague. When one, basically, the network is all done and the other one is not done, it will be a big problem. Just to say that next time, my committee will be writing to you for pictorial evidence to show it to the public. It enhances our work. And so we will look at the pictorial evidence. Remember that 30th of June, after that, we'll call you back, but that will demand pictorial evidence. And then the members, the 47 members will be here, where you say, including myself, because we'll go for the 11 sites. If you would not mind, let your ministry share with the committee clerk the various constituencies and the communities, so that the members can monitor, or this committee can monitor community by community and see whether the contractors are working. I know that your team is very competent, and so if you are able to achieve this, it will help all of us a lot. And then for the private companies, I don't know whether you will be able to talk to them, but take into consideration the security zones of this country when they are deploying the 800 new sites for the MTN, and also even the Accra areas that you are trying to fill up these holes. But the security zones are very important for all of us, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that this country is safe, and we have a lot of security pressure on all our borders. And this is one of the things that can help us. So we take one of the recommendations we'll do is to make sure that this project is completed, and we'll push for more resources for your ministry and the GIFEC to get resources to ensure that they do their work well. Because if they're able to succeed, I can tell you Ghanaians are very sharp in trying to give information. If they see it, because we have this, if you see something, say something. And the only way is to make sure that they are able to communicate. And if they can, I can tell the Ghanaians they will sleep peacefully. They will help the security agencies to sleep peacefully. So we'll push for it. You have a big case. And our resources should be pushed to quick. They can send WhatsApp. It's very important. Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, like I said, you have 4 more questions. They are all tied to it. The virtually same question. But for the sake of the individuals, we'll go through the questions. Kwame Apia Kodua, MPP MP for Fantiakwa North. He asked you when the rural telephoning will be completed in the following communities: Apa, Aboho, Dominasi, Abuaso, Dua Police, and Dua Police. These are the questions. Honorable Minister, if you can go through them.
Mr. Chair, Oboho, Dua Police, Aboso, and Dominbase sites have been constructed and integrated. Work is ongoing to operationalize the site. So it means the poles have been erected, the radios have been put there, they've been integrated with the network. All that is left now is for traffic to pass through them, and that's from the mother sites. So that's where we are on those ones. And in my answer, I made the case that APA and Dominasi had not yet been captured, but we've done that now and integrated the sites. I thank you, Chair.
It's important for our colleagues to be here, because if the minister says that the posts have been erected, it's been integrated, it's just for the activation. If the member were here, it would have helped us a lot. Any question on this? Otherwise, we go to the next question. Yes.
Thank you, Chairman.
Vice Chairman has a question.
Minister, thank you for your responses. I want to find out, you said activation is always a problem. What are you doing in that regard? After constructing the site, if there's no activation, it becomes useless.
So a big part of the challenge we've had with the operationalization or activation of the sites has been when, after you've integrated with the network has to give capacity or spectrum resources to the local site. It's two-pronged. One, the networks are challenged with the congestion on their network, and so bringing on new customers for them is always, they want to prioritize, because again, they feel that in the urban areas or major cities, the customers there pay more than rural communities. But I mean, we work with them and insist on them to do the integration. But the biggest challenge we have, Chair, is that, you know, the RTP sites are roaming sites. So you can be on any network of your choice. Now, in some instances, in fact, in many instances, you realize that many of the donor sites belong to Telecel or AT. Now, if they use their spectrum and connect the rural telephony site, and the site is a roaming site, so it means they are sharing their resource with GIFEC on that site in the community. What we've realized is most of the customers choose to be on a different network. So, because of quality of service. So, it's as though chairman is sharing his resources with vice chair, so the vice chair gets connectivity. Meanwhile, it is when vice chair gets the connectivity, he doesn't use the service of chairman to pay chairman. He chooses to roam on deputy ranking's network instead, and the money goes to deputy ranking. So that's where we are getting a lot of challenge. So because that's beginning to happen a lot, you see some of the other networks, especially the other two networks, being hesitant in being donor sites because they feel that they are rather strengthening the capacity of a third player. So these are some of the technical things we are having to deal with to figure out how do we do the settlement. And between GIFEC and the regulator, the NCA, we are working on some solution to this. But this is an institutional thing that we've come to realize is part of the reason why they are hesitant in operationalizing the sites actively or with alacrity. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So we'll go to the next question. Question is on the same day, basically the same day. Question 393. Mr. Speaker, I beg to ask the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations the status of the rural telephony project and the plans for the Ministry for the improvement of network service coverage in Heman Lower Denshra.
Mr. Chair, 8 sites have been built and integrated in the Heman Lower Denshra constituency. Just want to give specifics. 4 of the sites in Ankako, Tafredwa, Ampimkrom, and Anhiam are currently up and operational. Jankobo, Chepiase, Nyamibechre, and Nyameyadum sites have technical challenges which are being investigated by GIFEC's technical partner doing the deployment. And in this case, when I say technical challenges, Mr. Chairman, the specifics in this particular matter are connectivity between the RTP site and the donor site. So it's a typical example of what I said. Some sites were allocated in the lead up to the election. Now we have gone to integrate, build a site, and now you can't get a donor site. So in those 4 instances, we are trying to see if we could use satellite backhaul to do the connectivity for them.
So you say that the 4 sites, the people can confirm that they've been connected and they are working. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, they are operational.
And the other sites, you are having challenges because of the mother sites that are not there?
Sites have been installed, but no mother site. So we are trying to use satellite backhaul for those.
When will that be done?
Chair, I can't give a specific time. The GIFEC team, like I said, it's not just, it's beyond us. It's technology, and we're working with our technical partners. The scope of their work was to connect from other sites. So when you have to do, for want of a better phrase, bypasses, these are conversations and negotiations that have to be had. So I can't sit here and give a specific timeline relative to to when the technical partners can complete those discussions.
Will you want to work with the telephone companies, MTN and Telecel and the others, what they want to roll out to fill in these gaps?
So that's a possibility that we can explore.
I think you should.
Well noted, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other question on this? All right, we'll go to the next question. Alasa Mumuni, I think it's Salaga North, is that right? Yes. He asked you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker, I beg to ask the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations the steps the ministry is implementing to improve communication network in the following electoral areas: Bavin, Latimpa, Bunjai, Dagboshe, Dacier. Honorable Minister.
Mr. Chair, the Bawin Lantikpa sites have been built, they are operational and are currently passing traffic, so people can make phone calls in those sites. In Bavim Dagboshe, the site has also been built. The site was operationalized, but we had power spikes at the site that resulted in the burning of the radio units. So the technical partners are working to replace and restore those sites. But in the other sites, they are operational and working. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Minister, I would say that the Bunjai, Dagboshe area, in fact, the general Bunjai area, I would urge you to speed up work on it. It falls into the security challenges. If you ever travel between Salaga and Tamale, that zone is within that area. And it's sometimes you can go long distances and the reception is very, very poor. And if you have, even though the road now is completely tarred, if you have people who don't think good about this nation, they can use it to cause problems for all of us. I don't want to give them an impression, but they can really cause problems. So if you can speed up work on this, it will really help.
We are guided, Chairman.
Yes, any question on this? All right, the member is not here, so we'll move to the Sanjan Naja. I think Sanjan Naja asked the question on behalf of Emmanuel Ntekuni, Pru West. He asked Mr. Speaker, I beg to ask the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations the plans the ministry has for the improvement of telecommunication network services in the following towns and communities in the Pru West constituency. Adaraja Biposo, Dembaya, Sinyansi, Faumai, Kamampa, Brokrom. It's not Bronicrom, it's Broncrom. Then Ofirambo or something like that. Then Ankara Kuka. These are the communities the member asked for improvement of telecommunication services. Give us an assurance, and so I want to find out where we are today.
Mr. Chair, all the sites in the Pru West constituency except Senyasi, all the sites except Senyasi have been surveyed. The coordinates have been submitted to the technical partner for simulation. Senyasi will be surveyed before the end of this month. Thank you, Chair.
All the sites have been surveyed except Senyasi. You are assuring Parliament that Senyasi will be surveyed before the end of the month?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The team is actually on the field there. That's how come they've been able to do some, and it's just left with that one. They are currently working as we speak.
Going to do installations like the others by the 30th of June?
Yes, they are supposed, all of this, Mr. Chair, I need to check if this falls within the 460. I need to cross-check to be sure, because the end of June promise we've made is relative to the 460 sites that I spoke about. So I need to confirm if these sites are part of the 460. So pending that confirmation, I will not be able to give you a timeline, because the 30th of June 2026 promise we've made is relative to the 460 sites. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, this is his last question. So, honorable members, if you have any other question, please, let us, otherwise we will discharge the minister. Ablikumanov.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Honorable Minister, my good brother. So presently, 460 sites, over 10 regions, 47 constituencies, and more, hopefully, yeah. And last year, you were allocated 70 million. And this year, 30 million.
Next year, too.
Next year, it could be more or less. However, I just want to know, what assurance can you provide that these projects will not be abandoned or unduly delayed? And how frequently can you update Parliament on progress of work? I hope you won't leave here angry at your own sister. Thank you.
That's going to be a matter for the House. We'll meet at home and discuss it. but yeah, I can make the firmest assurances that President Mahama is very committed to ensuring that the ministry delivers on rural telephony. In fact, it's one of the things that once I get the opportunity to meet the president, I'm a bit jittery before he starts, because there are specific constituencies he mentions and communities when I speak with him, because he says that in some of those communities on his campaign, people told him that he should try and make a call. He said one of the communities, the chief told him to make a call and see if it will go through. He did everything, it didn't go through. Then the chief told him to wait. Asked one of the boys to climb a tree and said, make the call. And the call went through. So he keeps reminding us about it. And so I can assure you that's one of the KPIs that I cannot sleep on. And that's why I have a competent lieutenant heading GIFEC, Tanko Rashid Computer, who's working round the clock with his team. Sorry, did you say he's your nemesis? Computer is your nemesis, okay. But I have a competent gentleman who is leading the charge at GIFEC, and I can make those assurances that this project will not be abandoned. Mr. Chair, I can state on record that the president himself intervened to ensure that before the end of December, the 70 million that was allocated for rural telephony last year was disbursed. Personally made that intervention. That's how important this means to him. And I can assure you that the 30 million is to complete, the reason why it's 30 million is to complete, it's a needs-based thing. We are completing RTP2. There's a certain amount that was needed over the 2 years to complete it, 100 million. So 70 million was done last year, 30 million this year. This year, if they gave us beyond 30 million, the finance minister would have been allocating in excess of what was required per the contract for RTP2. So let it not be that anyone will say the government is downplaying the value of rural telephony. I'm confident that going into next year, when we are done with RTP2 and we want to start RTP3, Mr. Chairman, that project, the RTP2 was a 155 million euro contract. I'm sure that we'll be seeing something in the region of about 160, 170 million for the upgrades that we want to do on RTP3 in next year's budget. I'm very confident that we'll see solid and commitments to it. So, my dear sister, we will not fail in delivering on the RTP2 projects, and be rest assured, Chairman, that with your support on the floor of the House, government will deliver for the good of our people. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, for Honorable Minister, for the records, so you said that you allocated 70 million last year, and you allocated 30 million this year. Now, regardless of whether funds were released or not, your budget has been slashed almost 60%. Is that correct?
Mr. Chair, that's not correct.
From 70 million to 30 million, what would you consider to be the percentage it dropped?
Mr. Chair, my lawyer I know my lawyer is a lawyer, but at least basic maths. If what you needed to complete the project was 100 million, and in 2025 you were giving 70 million, 100 million minus 70 million is how much? 30. Is it not 30 million? How is that a drop?
Mr. Chairman, you have mentioned a number of ongoing projects. You understand? And that amount clearly can't meet the budget that you have. So clearly there's a slash. They should have been giving you way more than they even gave you previously. Otherwise, then you shouldn't be here asking us to support you to get more money.
Chairman, let us be clear. The project RTP2 did not, and I gave the history from RTP1, starting from the Mills Mahama, through Mahama Emisata, through Nana Baumia, and now Mahama Jenana. The RTP2 project came to Parliament for approval in 2021 as a 155 million euro project funded by China Exim, if I'm not mistaken, but it was a Chinese facility. Along the line, the Chinese government, the Chinese facility was withdrawn when the debt, the COVID and the debt restructuring happened. A portion had been disbursed, a portion was left undisbursed. The government of Ghana took on the remaining portion of the 155 million. So the project has a scope and a cost. Monies have been paid since the government of Ghana took over to the contractor. And what is left to complete the 155 million euros for the entire project is 100 million. 70 was released last year. So what is left is 30 million. You cannot release, Mr. Chairman, Parliament will have to summon the finance minister and myself if the finance minister made allocations over and beyond what Parliament approved for rural telephony. So the 30 million is not a slash. It's the remaining commitment of the 155 million contract that we inherited. The request I have made to the committee, Chair, is that the 2016 sites, of which these 460 are part of, which form the 155 million euro bulk, has not covered all the communities that need rural telephony. So we need to impress on the government through the finance ministry to make allocations for an RTP3 so that we can cover all the other sites that you are talking about. So that's the appeal I'm making to you, to say that, look, rural telephony should not just be seen as a pet project of the Ministry of Communication, but it has its related benefits for the state. But the 70 million and 30 million bring to a close the 155 million euro contract that I inherited. I hope it's clear.
So, Honorable Minister, your assurances were basically on rural telephony. And you have assured us that the project that started in the first NDC administration, not the second NDC administration, with a total of 2016, no, not 2016. They did some, but under the Akufo-Addo presidency, the target was 2016 communities. Some were left, and those that were left were 460. You are completing those 460. Is that the case? And you are hoping that by June you have completed it. The outstanding resources you needed was 100 million. Last year they gave you 50 million, 70, and this year they are giving you 30 million. So you have all the resources.
That's correct, Chairman.
Is that right?
Yes, for this RTP2.
Have they released the 30 million to you as well?
We have received not even commitment authorization, because it's an ongoing program. Allotment for Q1 and Q2 to the tune of 19 million has been done. So it's now left for us. But Mr. Chair, I am clear in my mind that until I see the contractor do the deployment of the sites after he received the 70, we will not be paying any further money, because what we have paid is good enough to see the sites all deployed. Pending operationalization, then we make the remaining releases to the contractor.
All right. So, Honorable Minister, we will be getting back to you. This is very important for the people. Communication is very important for our people. It's also very important for the security of this nation. We'll be getting back to you on this subject matter after June. Otherwise, I'll congratulate you and your team. You have satisfied our curiosity and answers, and just hope that we will do what is needful on the floor by advocating for more resources for RTP3, which would not just include the normal telephone calls, but also the internet, as you have advocated. For me, it's very, very important that we're able to do that for our people. If our people can just communicate amongst themselves and communicate what they see and be able to access internet, then when they are going to recruit the next time, they say go onto the internet and do recruitment, they will be able to do it, not like what they are doing currently. So you are discharged, Honorable Minister. Congratulations.
Chairman, I thank you. I thank you for.
I'm not supposed to talk after
No,
the chairman.
I can thank the chairman. Chairman, I shouldn't thank you. No, you are afraid of what I'm going to say. You, Chairman, thank you. We shall meet him in Mila.
Thank you very much. But just to say that your CEO is my constituent, and so the people are watching you. The expectations are very high. That's all I can say to you. When you come back in June, the questions I have for you will come.
Chairman, the competence of my CEO is no doubt. At least he showed his competence in Akwetia and Ablekuma North, and in all the collations that we have done. Right now, you can't collate your results. We have collated ours. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay.
All right, this is off our hazard. The comment he made is not part of the hazard. Yes, please invite the next person, the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture.